Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your host Edward McQueen and April Garner Davis.
Oh, and when we say live, we mean live, right, April? You're not on mute now. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'm off mute now. Yes, we mean live. Hi, everyone.
Right. When we say live, we mean we mean live. Good evening, everybody, and very, very, very important local information and semi-local information that's going to be grasping you tonight, and hopefully you're tuning in to listen to what we have to say tonight. I'm sure a lot of you are, and we certainly appreciate that. I'm your host, your co-host, Ed McQueen, April Garner, so I'm co-host. And we're starting off with Lest We Forget, okay, with that. But before we get into that, just want to make sure that you're staying in tune to our the progress that we're making on the Summer Jobs program, okay? Getting a lot of feedback on the streets and telephone calls and texts from people who want to know how to go about getting a summer job for their daughters, their sons, and part of the summer literacy program. But that we're going to go in much depth tonight, and trying to keep you updated as much as possible. But first, we also want to first starting off, we want to let you know about a gala that this is just the second time that it's been done. First one was really a success, and we're following. They are following through with the second one. So I'm sorry to say that the first one was a success. We're back tonight. So, and they're going to be honoring the community trailblazers. We're talking about the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society, headed by Reverend Cheryl Adamson. So, without any further, let's bring her on so that she can give us a little background on what it is to occur this weekend, May 17th, and we just want to make sure that everybody comes. It's going to be very informative, including awarding or making recognition to some of our trailblazers in the county, and people need to really know these people. So, Reverend Adamson, are you ready to give us a rundown on what's? Yeah, I'm going to use that as local language. Okay,
that's colloquialism.
Yeah, sometimes that's the most effective. Sometimes,
absolutely,
a lot. So, why don't you go give us a quote unquote rundown on what's going on with the gala? This is a second annual gala.
Okay. Well, of course,
so
I'm always happy to be with Brother Edward McQueen and his lovely, I don't know if this is a local colloquialism or not, a sidekick, ride or die, April Garner Davis. We're just so grateful for technology that keeps her in our midst. So we don't lose out on her enthusiasm and her inspiration and her talent. So April, always glad to see you. And I'm very, very excited and happy to share with our community the fact that the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society is indeed bringing its second annual Whittemore Racepath Historical Society Hall of Fame Gala. And this will take place on Saturday night at 6 o'clock at the Mason Temple Church of God Fellowship Hall. We're excited to have them host us. We are overwhelmed that we will be in our own community, supporting our own people in a beautiful facility that has been refreshed and remodeled. So really excited to offer this opportunity for our community to gather and, recall the times when we were together. This whole thing began with what was the center of our lives growing up, and that was the Whittemore Elementary School and the Whittemore High School. I described it to somebody this morning as they wanted to know about community centers and that kind of thing. I said that was our life. You know, we all went to separate churches. We lived in different neighborhoods, but the gathering place for us was the Whittemore Elementary School. We got our education there. We got our social training there. We got our polio vaccines there. We had our um, plays and musicals and recitals there. It was the center of our community's life. And even though we were unsuccessful at saving that building, the spirit of Whittemore Elementary School is very much alive. And we are doing our best to keep it that way. So, Saturday, if you would come and join us, the tickets are $65. We have just a few left. Last year, our program started at 6, but believe you me, people were sitting down at 5 o'clock because they were so excited about what was about to take place. And I just want to share with you that this Hall of Fame banquet is more than a ceremony, it's more than a fundraiser. It is a declaration that the lives, contributions, and legacies of African Americans in Horry County hold major significance to our collective story. So we will be honoring trailblazers and pioneers in many fields. Some of these people are hidden figures to some, if you will. But for us, preserving their stories means that we get to ensure that they are neither ignored or erased. And we are reclaiming and preserving our history so that our children will be inspired and never forget from whence we all have come. So that is the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society Hall of Fame Gala, Saturday night, May 17th at 6 o'clock p.m. at the Mason Temple Church of God in Christ Fellowship Hall. You want me to keep talking? You know, I can't add this flyer that you've put a note that our keynote speaker will be Reverend Dr. Hank Singleton. He is one of our own. He's a son of the Singleton family, Mr. and Mrs. H. Singleton. And our theme for honoring our community trailblazers is Lest We Forget. You know, people are trying to erase our history. People are trying to rewrite history. People are trying to pretend that we're anything but what we are, which is super. And we don't want that to happen. So we will do what we've been taught in church, in Sunday school, in Bible study, in vacation Bible school. We're always to remember and recall how we got over and how the Lord brought us over. So Hank Singleton, as many of you know, is not only a preacher of the gospel, he is also a theologian and a professor at the University of South Carolina and at Allen University. He is an author of at least 4 books, and he will have his books with him on Saturday night for you to purchase to support him in his academic endeavors. And we will also have another one of our hometown heroes, and that is Lawrence Life Dean, who is a retired warrant officer in the Marines. So he will be guiding us through this program. We know that it's going to be a very inspirational event, and we are looking forward to having everyone be out there with us.
That sounds great. Forget all those people that are going to be awarded and recognized. Some of those things, I guess, you want to keep until the day of.
No, we're not trying to be secretive about it, because what happens is We really want the people who they've influenced, who they've supported, and who want to cheer them on and say thank you to them to be with us on Saturday night. So
Right. Right.
um, we are giving what we're calling Lifetime Achievement Awards in 6 categories. Two of the persons that we are going to be honoring, we will be doing it posthumously. In other words, they have already outrun us to glory. And that's a real concern of ours, that we don't give people their flowers while they are living. And we missed these two people by just a few months. The first one is a Lifetime Achievement Award for Community Service. And that is none other than the great Miss Mildred Hickman Welch. She left us not long ago, and we didn't get to, as a community, salute her for everything that she meant, not only as an educator, but the way that she inspired the community and promoted people to be involved and made sure that people understood about voter registration and about being civically engaged. And when there were people who couldn't speak for themselves or didn't know how to find resources for themselves, for their families, or for some community member, Ms. Welch was there to encourage them.
Absolutely.
So we want to salute her uh, in glory, but salute her family for community service. And then just by a few months, we missed honoring Brother Paul Hickman, who was an educator extraordinaire, being
Right.
at one point, there were only 6 Black principals in Horry County, and he was one of the stellar ones who mentored many educators and taught many children, and just really brought joy to all of our lives, and was a stalwart in that Hickman community,
Yeah.
over up 70, 701 and
701.
Highway 65, all those people out that way. He represented his family and his community well. So we're saluting Mr. Paul Hickman through his wife, Dolores, posthumously for his lifetime achievement in education. The next person that we want to salute is just a stellar individual, having made many firsts in his life. Little country boy coming out of Bucksport, not being able, he thought, to read or to spell as well as he should have, but by God's grace and his grit and his hard work and perseverance, we are honoring Command Sergeant Major, retired United States Army, Roy C. Owens, for his business acumen as well as his military service. So, Mr. Owens has a remarkable life story of having the aspiration of being a husband and a father. So, he wanted to find a good job. And that good job turned out to be the United States Army. And you're going to learn some really great things about him and his accomplishments, not the least of which at Fort Benning in Columbus, Georgia, from 1918 until he integrated in 1985. He became the first command sergeant major of that Army post in its history. So he has come on to build a home for his parents and then for over 100 other families in Horry County. So we're really excited to tell more of his story. We have 4 other people that we're going to honor. 2 of them are in law, and you know them well. April Garner Davis's cross the street neighbor, attorney Ralph Wilson, and you know his story. He was the first Black person elected to be a solicitor in the state of South Carolina. And then not many of you know the story of attorney Winston McIver Sr. and all of the work that he did over the course of his legal profession to bring legal knowledge to families especially poor families, low income families. He just went around teaching people about the law. So there are some as Joella said, these are some hidden figures that we really don't have an appreciation for. We see an office, we see a name, but we don't know the story behind these people. Then Dr. James E. Lee in dentistry for his lifetime achievement in dentistry. A young man leaving Conway, South Carolina, and coming back and establishing the first African American dental practice in Horry County. Now that's saying something. That is saying something. Building it himself with very little support from the powers that be. Can you imagine being a young man in 1973 coming to Conway and asking the bank for a loan? Oh, he got a story about that. Y'all just don't know. And finally, we're going to honor none other than my husband of 48 years, Dr. James Wellington Adamson, who many people don't know is from King Street, South Carolina, but who left there, went to the Army, and after becoming at Tuskegee Institute a doctor of veterinary medicine, practicing veterinary medicine in the Army, and then getting a military scholarship to go back to medical school. And by the grace of God, not settling in King Street, but coming to little old Conway and putting down roots. We're going to salute him. Now, I didn't nominate him. Somebody else nominated him.
Oh, you did.
I did not. I did not. I did not. But the impact that he, Dr. Lee, Mr. Wilson, Mr. McIver, Command Sergeant Major Owens, Ms. Welch, and Mr. Hickman have had on people. I often tell people, not until you get to heaven will you realize the impact that you've had on people's lives. So we want to tell them thank you and tell their stories now, perhaps where some children can hear it. And of course, our program booklet then becomes a historical document because we will have their short biographies inside of this. It's not an obituary, it is their bio.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So look, for you, Reverend Adamson and April and our viewing audience, I just want to say this, that regarding Dr. Adamson, congratulations to him. It be bestowed upon him recognition by the Conway Medical Center yesterday, and he was recognized as a former physician. And only I believe one other, he and Dr. Proctor were recognized. Dr. Proctor in the posthumously, and
Yes.
but his son was there to accept the recognition and the plaque and all that.
And I can tell you,
he is a doctor also, I believe, right?
yeah, he's retired now as well. He's my classmate, but he's a retired pathologist from Grand Strand Hospital. But I can also say to you that our community, the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society, is responsible for that as well.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
we approached Conway Medical Center about honoring Dr. Kelly.
Absolutely. Well,
And
you didn't let me get to that, but I was going to say that.
Yeah, but we don't want to. We don't want to miss it.
No, we certainly don't. We certainly don't.
Pressing, to say, look, Dr. Kelly was the first Black physician in Horry County, and there's not a recognition or honor or a picture of him on the hospital wall. So, hey, look, watch how this happened. So, Dr. Kelly was deceased, so his honor was posthumous. And to balance that, they came up with a living legend. And so they honored a 90-year-old physician who happened to be white last year. So we got those two things going.
Right.
A
Yeah,
living
that's right.
legend and apostrophes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least that's what's brought. Well, and okay, and the other awardee to be recognized is you mentioned Mr. Roy Owens.
Yes.
Uh, Now he's got a story to tell, but and he's
I'm telling you.
also a book has been written about him, and we
Mm-hmm.
want to share that book probably in the next not in the next broadcast, but upcoming.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to have him on to kind of give us a narration of the photos that are in that book and a little bit summary as we talk about it. But he hasn't declined to do it, but there was some contingencies there as to when he could do it.
Yeah.
So I want to let the our audience know that we're going to try our best to get him, and I think it's going to happen coming up in a matter of number of weeks. And then we will share with all the audience, or he will share all of his
Mm-hmm.
accomplishments and some graphics. We have beautiful graphics of some of the products of his skills. Okay, and collaborations. Okay, just want to run that by everybody.
That's excellent.
So, uh, uh, so Reverend Adamson, if you is that all you want to say today? I mean, you have.
Well, actually, I do want to tell people that the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society is still going about the business of carrying out its mission and vision for our community, even though we don't have the physical Whittemore Elementary School. The things that we said we wanted to do there, we are doing them.
Absolutely.
We have been doing things to highlight, well, our mission is to preserve, protect, and promote the historical significance of Black facilities, properties, organizations, families, and individuals in Horry County. We are striving to honor and celebrate the rich cultural legacy of Black history through education, advocacy, and restoration efforts, ensuring that these vital icons and landmarks remain integral parts of our community's identity for generations to come. So we envision, just like Ms. Davis was talking about the strong arts community in Winston-Salem, we want to have a vibrant community here where history and achievements of Black individuals and institutions are celebrated and preserved. So our vision, our aim is to create spaces that foster understanding, pride, and connection among all community members, inspiring future generations to appreciate local Black history. So we want to be known for that, whether we have that original building or not. And so over the past 2 years, these are just a few things that we've done. We've collaborated with Coastal Carolina University on gathering oral histories uh, with the National Public Radio Story Corps. So the stories that we have gathered are archived in perpetuity at the National Library of Congress. So anyone who wants to capture their family story through StoryCorps, we are capable of doing that. We've collaborated with the Horry County Museum, the Whittemore Alumni Association, the World Community Magazine, Clemson University, the University of South Carolina, and the City of Conway's Recreation Department on educational programs for the entire community. And then, thanks to Sister Joella McQueen and Priscilla Fuller and others on the History Committee, we have recognized homes and businesses that are over 50 years old. The first that we cited was the Frank and F.E. Cochran Hemingway home on Racepath that was built in 1920. Such a rich story behind that. Mr. Frank was one of the first persons that helped to move Conway from gas lanterns on the street to electric lights. So he's the first Black engineer in the city of Conway. Then we recognize the home of Covell and Mary Irvin Moore on Bayside Avenue. Those are my parents. in 1955, 1956. At the ages of 27 and 25, they built their home. That is a remarkable story. And what we aim to do is point out those homes that are over 50 years old where there's families still living in them. Then we honored the Latimer's Funeral Home on its 100th anniversary. And you know, there's a story behind that. Mr. Latimer interned at what is
Goldfinch.
Goldfinch Funeral Home.
Goldfinch.
So, yeah, Goldfinch Funeral Home. There are just so many connections and collaborations in our stories. And then Singleton's Groceries on Sugar Hill. We honored them for being a neighborhood store. I don't know how many people know that our organization, the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society, has been acknowledged and recognized by other historical entities. The Horry County Historic Preservation Commission gave us an award for our efforts to preserve Whittemore Elementary School. And I only want to share one other thing with you, and that is our next major project is that as a body, we want to do a pictorial history of African Americans in Horry County and Conway. So I appreciate having the opportunity to give that update about what the Whittemore Racepath Historical Society has been up to over the past 2 years, and invite you to join us in our efforts to tell not only our story, but particularly your family's stories. We really want to highlight how we got over. And that's very important, especially when people are trying to make it appear that we've not made contributions to our country's well-being.
First of all, thank you, Reverend Adamson, for sharing all of that rich history. It makes us so much more proud of our little old city, Conway, and all of the Black footprints that are a part of the pathways in and throughout the city and the county. And when you were talking, I was thinking to myself, wow, this is going to make an excellent historical series, almost like the old encyclopedias we used to have back in the day. I miss encyclopedias. I remember sitting at my Grandma Rose's house up on 378, and she had the brown and tan editions, and every time I would go there, I would pull an encyclopedia out and just read. And as I was thinking about all of the recipients of the awards this weekend, you brought to the attention, of course, a couple of the recipients who actually aren't from Conway, but have very deep roots in terms of, their business impact and things of that nature. And I think it's important for the audience members who aren't as familiar with our area to understand that there are a lot of organizations or groups that carry the Whittemore name. And within the Racepath Historic Society group, it sounds like it's not just about anyone who actually crossed the threshold of Whittemore schools as far as the school system. It's really more about that unique and very familiar fabric that is Whittemore, that really it umbrellas and blankets our entire community. And anyone who became a part of that is a very important thread in that beautiful quilt that's been created, right? So I just want to make the point that as far as the work that you're doing, it's great that the focus, you and the rest of the members of the Historic Society, it's very important for people to understand that your focus, as you said in the mission, is all about creating awareness of, the homes, the businesses, the first, the impact of all these wonderful people, whether they, came from our community as in born and bred, or they, actually entered our community by whatever means. Because as I think about the things that I remember as a child, and also the people that I remember as a child, all of the folks that you mentioned, honestly, with the exception of Dr. Adamson, but he then became my doctor once upon a time, right? I grew up with all of these people, you know, and knowing all of these people from, you know, what my parents knew about them or grandparents or whatever. So it is incredible that there's so much to discover. Like Sister Joella says, you know, the hidden heroes or the hidden figures, there's a lot to discover. And I do hope that that you're able to elevate the arts and cultural piece of it. And I'll share like what I see here as an example throughout the communities, especially those that are east of 52, which is considered the Black community.
Okay.
You have very beautiful murals and what you all are doing with the placards that are going on historic buildings. There's even a project that brings to light the shotgun houses here in Winston. And I'm sure we probably have some of those in Horton County somewhere, right? So the Historic Society is doing a very big work. And with everything that's going on in our nation, as you said earlier, to erase our history, you mentioned how the StoryCorps, NPR, National Library of Congress, all of that really is in jeopardy if you think about it. And so, you know, just doing the work to try to capture all of these historic moments and to, you know, chronicle them and document them and archive them somewhere. Yes, it's great. It's going into the National Library of Congress, but guess what? We also have it right here, and it's accessible. You know, when I say here,
right on your phone.
There, you know, I've never not be a part of Conway. So I just want to say that it's great that you all are doing this, and I'm so glad that we're able to see this work. You know, seeing what you did to honor Singleton's Grocery and Latimer's and all the other you know, businesses to come. That's really that's huge, and it's great because it allows us to celebrate us. It is truly for us and by us. So thank you, and pass that on. Yeah, pass that on to the other society members.
Absolutely. I know you're freezing up on us, Cheryl, but that's okay.
I certainly shall.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a number of plaques to go. A number of places that's on your list. So we'll talk about them another time. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So look, I've certainly got a lot of information out here. Some I thought I knew. I didn't. You know, you run it down for me.
Hey, I had to run it down for you.
Run it down. Yeah. So thank you, April, for putting that back up there. Yeah. Okay.
And I do want to say that Sister Valerie Skipper is the gala chairperson. Right. And there are many of our members that are working so hard on making this a reality on Saturday. So feel free to call any one of them. We want to finish our ticket sales tomorrow. Call her or Carolyn Hickman Williams, Priscilla Fuller, Edna DeWitt, Marsha Ransom, Joella McQueen. Just go right on down the list and give us a call, and we'll get those last tickets to you.
All right.
This is awesome. And I put up the Whittemore Racepath Historic Society website in case you want to check it out, and you can get that membership information, also information about the gala and all of the history that's been archived or chronicled through the website and through the work of this extraordinary society. You can go to, as a matter of fact, I have it here in the banner, whittemorehistorical.org, and you can just scroll through. And I love this timeline. That's a great graphic.
Yeah.
You know, all of the things that kind of intertwines, you know, national history with also the Whittemore history. So it's a really good resource. Great for you to share with your young people as you learn more about our Black history, not just during Black History Month, because Black history is 365. We know. Yeah, but this is great. And so again, this is the website. I'm sorry, say that again.
One last thing I want to say, speaking of the music and the arts, Brother Tamir Mubarak and Cousins will be providing our music. And you know, he's a stalwart in our community for our music. Right. He's my cousin, and he's my same year chillin'. You know, we are in our 70s now, child. So we need to pass this thing on.
Y'all need to do that.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Yes, well, this is awesome, and I'm sharing all the comments, Reverend Adamson. Thank you all for commenting and supporting. You know, sometimes it's all about just showing your appreciation for the work that's being done, and it looks like a lot of people are very happy with you know, what you all are doing, and please continue to do that, Reverend Adamson. And I will see you this weekend because I will be attending the gala as well with Brother Edward. Yes, I'll be there.
So happy to hear that. All right, then. Well, I'll say good night to y'all.
All right. Thank you and God bless. All right.
All right, brother. Yeah, Brother Edward, this is some great stuff. I tell you, because if we don't capture our history, who will? Who's going to do it? And we certainly have to get it before any more Trailblazers transition, like Reverend Adamson said. So I'm glad it's happening now. And, you know, hopefully we'll find some creative ways in the community to share this history with the young people as well who are coming up. So, yeah, so this was great. So again, the gala is this weekend, May 17th. It starts at 6 p.m. and it's going to be at the Mason Temple Kojic Banquet Hall. And the MC is Lawrence Life Dean. Speaker is Dr. Harry Hank Singleton. And the theme is Lest We Forget. So tickets are still available, as she said. Go to the website and you can get more information about how to purchase tickets if you're interested in attending.
Yeah, the tickets sales are getting tight there. Some people, I have to direct people to where they can get some, and I was told now that there's only a few left. So please, yeah, just get them. Okay, we'll find a seat for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They'll find a seat for you. I'm sorry. I keep injecting myself into that, and you know, just.
Well, you're technically a part of it too.
I'm excited about it. You know. So, but anyway, April, these summer jobs, we got to get them rolling. Okay, we last summer we couldn't facilitate them because of the lack of. I'll be honest, a lack of administrative help, and I like to do things efficiently, and I didn't think it could be brought about with a minimum amount of staff that was willing to help us. So this year we're going full blast, and I like what you did with So, and you have been creative about this time, and I'd like to let the audience and potential participant who in the summer jobs, let them know that this year it's going to be like a virtual session, as you can see there, and with different topics of interest, and they're going to love these topics. Okay, so April, can you kind of like go over that? I think you are well versed in that.
Okay, well, thank you. So this year it's going to be a summer employability course that's really more of a hybrid experience for the young people. And when I say hybrid, yes, we do have some virtual sessions that are planned that will be delivered via Zoom, but also there will be the work experience that happens at the end of the program. It's still a 6-week program, and the participants ages 14 to 17 will be introduced to a number of topics that are related to employability, things that, according to research, are like the top skills that employers are looking for in new candidates. And so at this age, 14 to 17, I know I started working when I was 14, and a lot of 14-year-olds now are probably just going in and saying, hey, I need to work, and the employer's like, yeah, come on, I need you. But are they really understanding what the experience is all about and how valuable their work experiences are in building their employability skills? Building their even life skills in a lot of respects, because that's where a lot of young people are learning their social skills, because they have to work with different types of people. Their interpersonal skills are going to be apparent or not. And so there are things that we may need to work with them on in order to build up those skill sets. And so when Brother Edward decided to bring back the summer jobs program, I just pitched the idea of maybe incorporating an employability component that would allow us to actually speak to the students about these top skills and also give them some objectives and frames of reference and activities that will help them to really understand how they need to show up and represent themselves when they're on the job. Because as we know, it's real easy to get a job. If you walk into any place right now that is, inundated with a lot of work and no help, you can probably get a job just like that. But a lot of people do not understand how to keep the job, or they don't know what to do on the job to keep the job and to keep growing on the job. And especially our young people, because they just don't have that type of prep or coaching before they go into their employment. And so the summer employability course, we're calling it Ready to Work, the R2W. It is going to be a 6-week course. The first 5 weeks, the participants will be engaged in Zoom sessions for 1 hour from 11 to noon, 2 days out of the week. And we're kind of narrowing down what those 2 days will be right now. It looks like possibly a Monday and a Wednesday. Then that way, as they move towards the end of the week, if they are already employed, it won't collide with their current employment schedule. The great thing about it is that if they are already employed somewhere, they can take these lessons into the workplace and actually be better employees. But if they're not employed, they'll gain some powerful skills and knowledge of how to become a great employee in any work environment. And so we're going to cover topics that include we're going to talk about communication skills. We'll go into critical thinking and problem solving. We'll talk about time management and organization. We're going to have some financial literacy, professionalism, and work ethic topics. And I'm not going to be the only one facilitating these topics. Actually, I'm reaching out to professionals in these particular areas to see if they want to be a part of the sessions and to allow them to actually help bring these topics to life. And so there's a curriculum that's lined out. And then for the first 5 weeks, by the 6th week, they will be ready to go into their workplace partner and exhibit all of these wonderful skills and new knowledge that they've picked up. And maybe even along the way, they'll be able to, again, sharpen their skills as they're working, if they're already working. And so this flyer, of course, is it's posted on our World Community Magazine's Facebook page, on my network page, and kind of placing it all over social media. Grab it and share it with anyone who has a teen age 14 to 17. Spaces are limited. We do have some participants who've registered, but we still have plenty of spaces. And if we need to, we'll create a wait list or even a second group. But the bottom line is, if we can help them to get ready to work, then they'll always be able to work. And so at the end of the program, of course, Brother Edward typically does like a little recognition and things like that. But during the program, they will receive a weekly stipend, just like they did with the previous summer jobs program. That's one component that he definitely wanted to keep in place, and I think it's great. So the participants will be earning as they learn. And also in that final week of employment, they will be earning as well. And so I want to share this flyer, but also I'd like to share that we are definitely looking for anyone who is interested in sponsoring a young person for this particular endeavor, who's interested in donating to this particular endeavor. We definitely need your help. And so it would be great if you are interested to let us know. And it's only $360 to sponsor a participant for the entire program. That's $60 a week. To sponsor a participant in the program. And if you have it to give, that's wonderful. You can send a check-in or send a check-in to the World Community Magazine. I'll put that information up in just a moment. Or you can get in touch with Brother Edward or Sister Jannar Falk. I'll put that information up in a moment as well. But the bottom line is that our village, it takes a village to bring this type of initiative to the young people in the community. And this is just one summer program that's being offered to them. We'll talk a little bit about summer literacy in just a moment. But for the most part, that's the scope of things for the summer employability course and also the summer jobs program. And we won't say it's new and improved. I think that, you know, all of the experiences that Brother Edward brought to the table with students in the past was essentially what they needed. They definitely needed to be able to go out into the community as volunteers who are part of a program so that they can learn more about their community. This is really just kind of, kicking it up a notch and giving them a little bit more that they can sink their teeth into to really understand how valuable they are to an employer and how to become more valuable to an employer. So, Brother Edward, I'm going to stop there and let you say a few words while I pull up the sponsor flyer.
Yeah, okay. You're going to be the highest paid people during the summer than anybody else. And no, look, here's how I'm going to break this down. This to our prospective participants, students, hopefully. As April said, it'll be 1 hour per session, and to break that down further, it's like if it's Monday and Wednesday, so you got 2 hours total, but there's an hour that's broken out that's being used, and April called that a study hour. So you're talking about 3 hours per week.
Mm-hmm.
So, close your eyes. Close your ears, everybody. $20 an hour. How's that? How does that sound? Yeah. Well, all right. I hope everybody's listening. We're paying $20 per hour. So that's for $60. I mean, that's for just, you're doing good. Okay. So I'm going to stop right there in terms of breaking it down, because you can figure it out yourself. Okay. Well, so she has it up there. It's $60 per week, and you're talking about 5 weeks, and that's $300 right there. Well, we're going to go on until for the 6th week. The last week will be one of well, April, that is to be determined in terms of are we going to split that up? Okay, you just gave a summary a few minutes ago, but that's the remaining of the money. And April, suppose we'll say $400 for the entire thing. What do you think?
So now I have to change my flyers and all of that, Brother Edward. You just share this information with me tonight. But you know what? If I think that $400 is very attractive,
yeah,
it could definitely go a long way with the participants and the families. The bottom line is really, yes, it's about the money and the ability to earn, but this year it really is more about, as Mary Skinner Jones says, the vision of making our young people employable, making sure that they understand what it means to be employable. And it helps not only just for those who will be immediately entering the workforce after they're done with high school, but as they go into their college majors as well, they'll need to understand, a lot of these skill sets, things that lead into interpersonal or soft skills. We're going to cover a lot of different types of things in these topics. And so, if you can find, and here's the donor flyer, and if you are willing to donate to help us make this dream a reality, then do so. Again, you can make checks payable to the World Community Magazine Summer Jobs Program. Mail the check into the World Community Magazine at P.O. Box 2391, Conway, South Carolina 29528. I will post this flyer on the World Community's Facebook page. Brother Edward, I'll update it so that you can send it out to your contact list. And then also, if there are any persons who are watching who want to suggest professionals or anyone who can speak on any of these topics that we plan to present to the students, please be in touch with me as far as the curriculum part is concerned. But when it comes down to the donation and sponsorship part, be in touch with Brother Edward or Sister Jannar Falk for help on those two things. So again, we'll get this flyer out to everyone. We'll post it everywhere. We'll put it on the website. And speaking of the website, I also want to show what our sign up looks like on the World Community Magazine's website. And we have two forms. As a matter of fact, we're going to be talking about the literacy program in just a moment. But if you go to our WCMmagazine.net website, in the menu, you'll see Summer 2025 Youth Programs. And if you drop down, there's the literacy program information and also the youth employment course. So this is how you register your young people for this course. Just go in and it gives you a little bit of information about, who can participate, what we'll do, how long the course is. And then also down at the bottom, make sure you fill in all of this information, especially this part, home address, city, state, and zip code. Please make sure your young people are filling the form out completely and including all information that's requested. That's application 101. Whenever you're filling out a job application, if you leave out certain information, you probably won't even be considered for the job. But basically, fill out this information. And then there are a few questions that will help us to understand more about career plans for the participants, what they think their greatest strengths are, and also what career paths they want to learn more about. And this will help me and the other participants in the course portion of the Summer Jobs Program to understand the kind of content that we need to deliver. So again, go to WCMagazine.net, Summer 2025 Youth Programs, and click on Summer Youth Employment Course. And it'll show you all of the information that you need to see, okay? So that's I'm just leave this up because I'm going to go over summer literacy in just a moment. But when it comes down to the summer literacy program, of course, we have none other than the community icon, Marjorie McIver, who is leading that effort for the summer literacy program. And it's really important that our students also sign up for this literacy program that has happened every summer. It was, born out of COVID, and it's been sustainable, and it's a great way for our young people to stay engaged in learning during the summer, to get their, reading scores up, Lexile scores up, all that good stuff, because we're reading great books. But also, it's another way to dig into our history, and that's one of the main things that is, I guess, a deciding factor whenever these books are chosen. So for the Summer Literacy Program, if you will just drop down to Summer Literacy Program, and then it will pull up the actual Summer Literacy registration form. There are several books that we're using this year, and for those students who are attending, please know that, there's the span of the time for the program is from June to August 2025. So just a couple of months of the Summer Reading Initiative. This program is for participants ages 6 through high school. And that's a wonderful thing too, is that we do have literature that is pertinent and relevant for even someone as young as 6 years old.
Right.
And that's a great thing. The program benefits include, the interactive meetings, the one-on-one assistance with the reading, digital assistance and guidance. There's some guest speakers. The field trips are also enriching. And Brother Edward, you might want to chime in a little bit about a couple of field trips that have come out of the Summer Literacy Program. There'll be a certificate of completion at the end of the program, and also a stipend that's contingent upon the amount of work that's completed through this program. And so there's a couple of books that are going to be brought back this year, and I'm going to mention those in just a moment, but it is a really good way for you to introduce your youth to an array of books that have been chosen by not only Ms. McIver, but a host of educators who believe that these books are enriching for all of the youth who participate. And I will say this about the Summer Literacy Program, even the Summer Jobs Program, the participants in the past have not just been participants from our community per se. We've had Black, Brown, and other students who participated. And that's a great thing, because we really want to introduce all of our young people to our history and to our culture. And if this is a way to do it, then that's wonderful. But also just to the idea of reading and making sure that their literacy skills and their reading skills are up to par. And this is one very organized way to do it. one sustainable way to do it. I don't know of any other reading programs other than like Freedom Readers and, anything that's actually offered by any of the community libraries that has stood the test of time when it comes down to having something that reaches the students over the summer. So we've got to do everything we can as a community to continue to support this program now more than ever. So Brother Edward, if you'll chime in on that just a little bit about some of the experiences and as far as like the field trips, that would be great.
Yeah. Speaking of field trips, one in particular that I really hope that we can see come into fruition, and that is the trip to the Black American Museum in Orangeburg. That was, to me, was the most, everybody looked at it as the most educational. It is headed by Mr. Cecil Williams, and he has a lot of history himself in terms of his photography and all the things that he's collected for that. That's in Orangeburg. He was the photographer for the, he had the photographs. He took the photographs of the, what they call the Orangeburg 3, I believe it's doing the, we call it the massacre, okay, doing the civil rights era. And he has a good chronology of that with some very, very informative information on that, and other stuff relative to all the journeys of civil rights history in South Carolina particularly, okay. And the new museum is ongoing. My understanding is going quite well. They've decided to relocate it somewhere downtown now that they've gotten some funding for it. But maybe I can come back with an update on it in our next broadcast. But some of the other trips included to the Georgetown, like the Rice Museum. That's a lot of history that's been left out, especially the role that Black Americans played in teaching the rest of the slave holders, teaching them how to plant rice and cultivate rice. Okay, it's very, very interesting. They couldn't have done it without the slaves that they brought over. Okay, and of course the Charleston Museum, the museum in Charleston is called the African American International African American Museum in Charleston. All these things come into play. It's a wealth of knowledge. The Gullah Geechee Museum in Georgetown, that within itself, and it's worth a wealth of education. So this is just some of the few things, and we're contemplating others to take place. And as they come, it seems like we're very good at picking the right places for which to expose our young people. So that that legacy thrives, and nothing is forgotten.
Yeah, that's absolutely. And, one of the things that was noted on some information that's going to go out really soon for the literacy program is that, the participants will even have the opportunity to meet some of the authors of some of the books and literature that's shared during the program. They're working on a special project. It's usually a reading or research project with a, kind of a capstone type finale where they're presenting their projects at the end. And, the great thing about all of that is that, they are able to put their hands on a book. They're able to, like you said, possibly visit a place of historical significance, but also possibly meet the author. And that actually is great for motivating our young people to even think about the possibility of becoming authors themselves, to capture the rich history or to just use their imagination to create stories based on what they've learned about our history. So again, it's a wonderful program. These are two programs, the literacy program, the summer jobs program, that that have been created by community leaders in our actual backyards. So, that's a great thing too, that, the young people are able to interact and engage with people that they know and that they either have met through education or community events or whatever, to get even that extra layer of enrichment. So I feel fortunate to be a part of both of these initiatives, and I think it's wonderful. I've always said that USS Joella introduced the summer jobs program how many years ago? It's been quite some time.
At least
Since,
8, I believe. I think it was back in 2017, I believe. Yeah, right.
Was it
We started off with
2017?
2. I
Okay.
think so. We started off with just 2.
Wow.
And we employed them at the Whittemore Park Middle School.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, it's just gone on. We have gone as high as 75.
Right, exactly. And I know that you're working on, for that last week, working on locking in some employment partners. And that's a wonderful thing because it's great to be able to assign these young people to a place of employment. So again, they can practice these skills or, learn even more skills that maybe aren't introduced, but of course that they really need to know about. So it really is a collaborative community effort. And if you want to be a part of it, if you want to support, there are ways to do it. Again, for the summer jobs program, be in touch with Brother Edward. If you can go to our website and get all of the information, and that's wcmagazine.net for the summer jobs and for the literacy program. Specifically for the literacy program, you'll want to be in touch with Marjorie McIver. She has all of the details. She is phenomenal at coordinating all of the students who are a part of this program every year. Making sure that they have their materials, making sure that they get their projects in on time, and then also that final display of their projects, either through a virtual Zoom or in-person showcase, whatever. Ms. McIver and the literacy team do a phenomenal job of coming up with the curriculum and making it all happen. So we just wanted to remind you.
I don't know how she does it, man. I tell you. I don't.
It's in her DNA.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's in their DNA.
You can tell when a person is, people are driven by passion, but a lot of times it's just how they're wired. It's in the blood. So, if you want to know more, go to the website, get that information. And, we would even, I would love some suggestions if you want to drop me a line or two on my Facebook page or even through the website, or, you can attach it to this post of the broadcast if there's some things that you think we should share with the participants as topics during this employability course. And, it's the kind of thing that's going to evolve just as the summer jobs program has evolved since 2017. We may find that, this course is something that could, be offered at certain times during the year, not just the summer, or we can expand it later. But it's going to take the entire community to make that happen, to give us feedback, to get the participants involved. So parents, I see Betty was sharing information with a few people. Yes, if you know parents who have school-age children for summer jobs, ages 14 to 17, for the summer literacy, ages 6 to 18, get in touch with those parents and get them the information, encourage them to sign up their young people. And thank you, Ms. Margie, for the reminder. On May 31st, there will be a meeting at the Conway Library. It's actually going to be the summer program's kickoff, and it's going to be at the Conway Library from 1 to 4 p.m. I will be there to assist in disseminating this information to all of the participants and parents, whoever wants to attend. So if you come out to the Conway Library on May 31st, you'll get, the information live, but also we want you to make sure you've registered your young people before May 31st, because summer jobs kicks off on June 9th. And then, of course, the summer literacy program will be kicking off in June as well. So this is the official kickoff, May 31st, and you'll get the pertinent details as to, when everything begins in June, the duration of all programs, the field trips for the literacy program, the possible assignment partners for the jobs program. It's just going to be a lot of great information that we'll distribute on that day.
Have we discussed, or are we placing any limitations on the number of participants for the summer job program?
So originally we were thinking 20 participants for the summer jobs program because of the Zoom component, the virtual component. Usually when you have a Zoom component, as you know, anything with online learning, the larger the classes are, the harder it is to keep the young people engaged and keep them focused on what you're talking about. And that's why it's going to be important for for me and the persons who are assisting to create some interactive activities in that hour. They're not just going to be sitting there listening to everything we have to say.
Yeah.
We will ask them to be engaged in certain things during that hour. And so I think that, if we see that there is an interest and a very high interest in this, I'm sure that we can find a way to include the participants. So right now we're saying 20, but if there are more, we will take it on a case-by-case basis, kind of create a wait list until we get a little closer to June to find out what we can do. But right now it's limited to 20 spots. We do have a couple of a number of registrations that have come in, but we have slots left. So please get your young people signed up as soon as possible. And I'll make this note as well. One thing that we talked about when we were kind of collaborating and discussing the possibilities is that your child can be involved in the literacy program and the summer jobs program, as long as time permits, as long as, you're able to, make time for it and create a schedule for your young people. And that's another thing that they need to understand. That's one of those employability skills is good time management. So if you want them to be a part of the literacy program, that's a totally different curriculum. They can do that, and they can also do summer jobs, and we'll keep them busy. As long as you want, we'll keep them busy. Yeah,
and it should be attractive. If you're only spending 1 hour per session on the summer jobs program, certainly you can make time for the literacy program afterwards. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
so that's the information that I wanted to share tonight about the summer programs, and there'll be more to come in the coming weeks. We'll make sure that we keep, pushing it each week as we bring the broadcast to you every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And again, summer literacy, as I mentioned before, this one also comes with a certificate of completion and a stipend for commitment and completion of the program. So there's 2 ways for them to earn summer literacy and summer jobs. There's 2 ways for them to learn.
I'm telling you, April,
learn and earn.
It's the highest paid. It's the highest paid summer student program workers. It's been a long time. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
So you better just be careful. I mean, just hurry up, and they should also attend May 31st, right?
Yes.
Particular students.
Yes. Anyone who signs up should attend May 31st, and we'll be sending out information to the registrants. They'll receive an email. That's why we're capturing as much information as possible. And we would love for the parents to attend as well, so that you will fully understand what your students have signed up for, what you've signed them up for. Again, it's May 31st from 1 to 4 at the Conway Library. And
that is for registration.
No, registration is happening now. Registration is happening now. Go to the website. Go to the World Community Magazine website, and I'm going to put that up on the screen in just a moment. Again, I've already shown the website, but we want our students to register now for the programs. For one, it helps Ms. McIver and the literacy team to understand what they need to pull together, not only just from the standpoint of the book selection, which for new and emerging readers, we're going to use the books from last year, but there may be some other things in terms of the activities and the projects that they need to prepare for, and we have to capture some information from the participants in order to understand what to do. And then for the summer employability course, again, go to the website, register for the course. If you complete that form on the website, you are officially registered for the course, and you will receive an email from me about more details about the actual course. So we want you all to register long before May 31st, which is just in a couple of weeks, and we'll see on May 31st if there are any slots left. So if there's, for whatever reason, if something comes up and you haven't registered by May 31st, to your point, Brother Edward, yes, please plan to attend, but we won't say you can get into the program. For example, if there are 20 slots that are already taken, you may be able to make a wait list. It really depends on what that, influx would be beyond, let's say, May 30th. May 31st is the actual kickoff. Yeah. But we need you to be proactive and do this as soon as possible. You're sitting here on your computers right now. If you want to sign your young person up, for either of these programs, just do it now. Just go to the website, get them registered so you can get the information, and then you can make the decisions along the way.
Because the program starts 9 days after that. Okay? That's June 9th. After the May 31st event. Right?
Yes, Brother Edward.
Okay.
The employability skills
Okay.
course starts June 9th. The kickoff is May 31st. But the point of it all is get them registered now. Get them registered now.
Yeah.
Yes, because
Yeah.
we're going to be moving. Yeah, as soon as we come out the gate, we wouldn't want them to miss any of the topics that are going to be presented through the employability course. And Ms. McIver, since you are watching, if you have a solid date for when the literacy program actually starts, if you could drop that in the chat, that would be great. But again, she's sending out information to the registrants as she's gathering that information, and she's really good about sending that information out to the entire group so that everyone is getting everything that they need. But it's important that you register as soon as possible.
Okay, all right, so it's been a very informative show this evening, and thank you, April, for getting the information out, propagating it. I love that word.
You do? It's your favorite word. One of your favorites.
Propagating it so efficiently. So if they haven't gotten it from what you were propagating, I mean, I don't know what else. Okay, so hurry up and register. 20 slots could go like that, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have a safety net or an alternative in the event that 40 people want to come on. So
we'll create a wait list and
Yeah.
we'll see. Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
We'll see what we can do. Yeah.
Yeah, because $20 an hour is a lot.
It is. That's a pretty big kick up from the what we talked about, but that's a great thing. And so all the more reason why, one of the things that young people need to understand is budgeting, right? And of course, that's going to come in the financial literacy talk. So the fact that, the Brother Edward has mentioned the payout means that we have planned for the 20 participants at that rate. As anyone who is familiar with how to budget it knows. And so if we are going to have more participants, that also means more community support is needed. So we can possibly do 40 as long as we can take care of 40. We can make it happen, but it's going to take the village to make it happen. So we just really appreciate all of you for your continued support, especially showing up on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. You could be anywhere else, but you are watching this little old homegrown grassroots program that is not glamorous at all. It really is just about, as he says, propagating great information about our community and to keep you informed, and also to do special things like this, which is to provide some activities that are enriching and empowering for our youth. So thank you all for watching. Please pass this broadcast on. As you know, it's going to be sitting on Facebook for a little while. You can go to our YouTube channel and click a copy of the link and share it, or you can go to the wcmagazine.net website where it's going to be for the next week. But send people to the website, send people to our YouTube and Facebook page so that they can get this information as well. And if you have any other topics you'd like for us to explore, please let us know as well. We're always looking for great guests and great topics to talk about. And so, Brother Edward, I think that we've pretty much covered the gamut for the next weeks. We've done it tonight. And we want to thank Reverend Cheryl Adamson for being our special guest tonight to talk about the gala.
Well, thank everybody, all of our viewers. Thank you for viewing in, and I'm sure if you were listening, you couldn't have gotten off of the viewership because the information was so powerful. It captured you. That's what we're here for. So, having said that, I offer you good night, and see you next week. With some more information I'm sure that you can use. And we hope to see you again and start interacting and get what you deserve, okay, in terms of information. Can't get it any other place except what do you call it? Free 99?
Free 99. That's free 99, exactly.
Well,
right here.
Listen, April, I'll say this. And this started on a radio program some 10 years ago, right?
It did. I've been with you for 10 years now.
Yeah.
Woo, almost 10. Yep.
April started that. I never knew anything about the Free 99. She she said it came from Sugar Hill.
It just popped into my head. It did. It did.
Okay.
All right. Well,
All right.
everybody have a great night and a great rest of your week. Yes, we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thank God.
All right, take care. Yes.
Thank you for watching the World Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook.